Hello and welcome to What Moves Us Express,
Or alternatively, what doesn't move us?
a daily podcast throughout this disrupted season
Brought to you from sunny Brighton and
at Nine Elms in London. Well, sorry, afternoon. It's Thursday afternoon today, and we are. I'm still in London. There's Johanna on the line, still in,
I'm still in Brighton.
and we also have
Then Craze, who's in Worcester,
in where?
Worcestershire, Worcester.
Worcestershire. You're our first guest from Worcester. How is Worcester?
Worcester's quiet.
Quiet. Everywhere's quiet. Is it quieter than normal?
Well, it's not quite in the household with two young children, but it's quite out on the streets, quite eerie.
Right, and then I think you know our format now, so it's a quick 10 minutes. So if I can start with, what do you do?
So I'm the chief exec of Infinitive Group, who are a railway consultancy and engineering and technology innovator, providing our insight that we get through our consultancy by investing that into our own development of products through software platforms and hardware products that we're currently still developing. We've decanted the offices since we shut them to everyone's houses, and we're continually developing, which has been an interesting challenge to overcome during this time period.
So do you develop software or actual physical products?
Both, yeah. So we've got software products. One, it comes under a platform called Artemist, which is a visualization platform for train or asset data that enables us to present information for operators, rolling stock owners, infrastructure managers to make informed decisions. But also we've got a machine learning platform where we develop algorithms to be able to predict the likelihood of failures or vulnerabilities of assets. We've built a number of algorithms for operators and Roscoes to be able to predict when failures of their assets are likely to happen, so we can make proactive decisions around what they should be doing rather than just operating it as they would traditionally and wait for it to fail and then cause disruption to the railway.
Okay, I have two questions if I can get mine in before.
Yeah,
I can see Johanna like writing with her pen, so I know she's coming. So my first question is, if you have physical products, where are they being developed now? Because obviously you have a workspace in your offices, so
yeah.
How are you dealing with that?
So
Secondly, I'm sorry.
Go for it. Get your second question.
Second question was, you mentioned about operators supporting operators with predicting and preventative maintenance.
Yep.
In this situation where there are less staff about, has that become more paramount, more important to the intelligence behind maintenance?
Yeah. So if I answer your first question, we've had to go out to our insurance people to ensure that we can safely and ensure our products to be decanted from our offices into people's homes. So our hardware development is still continuing, but the continuation is being done from people's living rooms, people's spare bedrooms, which is it's been an interesting challenge. So particularly when you need them to collaborate. So we've created a bit of a cyberspace. We personally don't use Zoom. We use another product, but we've created a cyberspace. So we're constantly online with the team, working through the technology challenges. And it's not actually been that bad. It's actually productivity has probably gone up. But
That's interesting.
but the psychological effects now being within a second week of this is now starting to take its toll a bit, from not being able to physically go through design documents and design concepts and the actual physical device in itself, which is challenging. The second question with regards to preventative maintenance, Yeah, well, I think potentially there could be a really positive view on this when we get out of it, is that from what we can provide information that enables operators and other maintainers and Roscoes to have a view of what they need to do and what resource is required to do the work when necessary, rather than the traditional way maintenance was applied in the railway, which is done on mileage or kilometers or time. So we very much focused around risk-based maintenance, which is a combination of time, distance, cycles, and predictions around the health state of assets. So I think that will have a very, very interesting view, where it has been kind of a hard slog to get that message out there. Lots of people say that they are doing it, and some are, and some are playing with it, and some aren't, and it's a mixed bag. So I think going out of this unprecedented situation that we're in, where critical staff, even in the railway, are now starting to go catch it and all implement self-isolation,
So are you having to find at the moment then that you're repivoting your business to focus on different things? Because obviously you've changed the way you've worked, but I mean, one of the things I'm thinking about is there's a lot of trains not running at the moment. So, and that's going to cause, when things do start returning to some sort of normality, is that's going to be a challenge for train companies and rolling stock companies having to mobilise their trains again after being potentially sat in a stabling yard for a few weeks.
Oh yeah, definitely trains don't like to be stopped for long periods of time, and there will be matters that the engineering production teams will be well versed in, and there are return to service examinations that will be carried out. I mean, unfortunately, from a data technology perspective, there isn't really much that you can do with regards to that, because it's physical engineering intervention that's required because of the way that bearings like to be lubricated from the motion of the wheels turning. So we wouldn't be able to do much from that perspective. And repivoting our business from what we're doing, I don't think we're repivoting so much from our software platforms, but we have, and I challenged the team probably about 10, 12 days ago, in one of the sensor designs that we've been doing, where we were locking down on design. We got in there just before that point to enhance the capability of a sensor by incorporating thermal imaging into it, to be able to add the capability of being able to track and monitor temperatures of passengers, which we're accelerating development on, and we've been busy over the last, as I say, 10, 12 days, making sure that we can actually incorporate this in with our sensor design.
So that's something that rail and government's going to be really interested in terms of getting people back to work and that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's not just back to work. One of the key factors of it is getting people back to work and making sure the safety and security of their staff whilst they are working isn't being impacted through people that may be contagious, that aren't realising it as yet, as it's quite a hidden infection. But also to give some confidence back into the travelling public that actually, from a system that we can alert and alarm on, we can take some positive intervention and positive action. So we've also linked up with a decontamination cleaning provider called HPC. So we're working with them. So when we've finalised the development of how this sensor will be able to detect and alarm that a need of decontamination is likely, we can immediately dispatch decontamination. So that's hopefully will give the travelling public a bit of a confidence. So from that perspective, we have pivoted the business and rise to the challenge. And I suppose that's where really innovation kind of comes into the forefront of what people can do, and organisations that are agile enough to be able to do that.
I think that sounds really great. So given that you've got, you're looking at a new process and a new source list, what would you be asking the government at this stage in terms of assisting your business or promoting your product?
What would we ask them to do with regards to supporting our product is embrace parts of the development of innovation in a way that can be deployed really quickly. We are working with infrastructure managers and TOCs to try and get this out there quickly, and I won't mention them as of yet because we haven't signed in any contracts as of present, but we're hopeful that that with innovation like this, that standards and the real time consuming aspects can be not ignored, but can be put to one side for a moment whilst you kind of gain some further intel into what needs to be done before you then start to go through the real difficult aspects of approvals and all of the products.
So essentially it's asking decision makers, particularly in government and big organisations, to be a bit more agile and a bit more like a startup.
Yeah, well, it's thinking a bit, everyone's going to have to start thinking differently. Things are moving so quickly. Every day we hear from the government with their local their public address is that things are changing constantly. So we have to be able to react to that. And if we start down a process where you need lots and lots of approvals to be able to start to get things out there and tested in a live environment, then we'll be too late. So it's been pragmatic around the approach. Obviously safety is key, and we wouldn't ever jeopardize that, and we'd make sure that we would comply to all standard health and safety regulations, but working with the government and operators and infrastructure managers to make sure that we can get things out there and quickly make a positive impact.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And
that was really great.
Yeah,
I really loved that, and I really love all the possibilities of what you can do, Ben.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for no, thank you for your time too.
Nice to talk to you.
And you, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.